Hello everyone, I wanted to give you a quick video review to address the issue related to the Valley Hive, the case that you're supposed to do for next Saturday, not Saturday tomorrow, but Saturday in 1 week. This case is different than the other cases that you will be presenting. The other cases are all have to do with the music industry. The Valley Hive is the only case that has nothing to do with the music industry, and there's a reason for this. The idea is for you to see a case where there is a situation that is very difficult. I mean, the music industry is very difficult, but I picked the honey. The honey industry is even more difficult because the honey industry has been pretty much the same for thousands of years. Either you have the best honey, you have the worst honey, or you have an organic honey. And here, the students, there were 6 groups trying to compete for the best ideas, and pretty much towards the end of the project, nobody had an opportunity. Nobody had identified a strategic opportunity. So this was very difficult, but I'm giving you the case, I'm giving you the recording, I'm giving you the PowerPoint, I'm giving you everything. So you should be able to understand really what is going on and what they found. They found that by looking at other industries that had to do with the food and beverages, they were able to identify some opportunities and use those opportunities inside the honey. And so you're gonna have to present this to me within your time allocation, just with your groups, and you will be telling me the problem that the client is running into, and you will be making your presentation as if you're speaking to the client. So each group will come at the exact, not one more minute after, or one more minute before, the exact time allocated, and will leave at the exact time allocated. The idea is for everyone to try to do it with a music industry client, and that's difficult. And then do one, just one, and see on, and don't even see it because only your group will be presenting. No other group will see you present, and that's the point. You don't need to educate someone else by finding out what is an opportunity, but just find for yourself. From my experience, all the groups eventually not always figure out what's an opportunity, understand really what it's about before the Valley Hive, but everybody understand what it is after the Valley Hive because it's really gets everything and everyone straightened up. Not everybody gets it, but all the groups, at least one person, usually more than one person per group, really gets it. So that's the objective of this practice of the Valley Hive. You can use all the PowerPoint exactly the way it is, or you can modify it. Personally, I would change it maybe 10, 5, 10, 15%, but you don't have to change it. What is very important is that you don't jump to tell us what the client should be doing within the first minute. That's the biggest mistake is right away they start by saying, we found this, what you should be doing, and you should be doing X, and then they explain what is X. The explanation and description is not as important as the why they should be doing it. So I'm going to repeat this. Why is more important than what. So all the what to do, what to do, what to do, what to do is really not as important as why you should be doing this because of this and this and that. Why not doing this? Because of this and this and that. So we will do this because of this and this and that. So the why is key in order to be a good consultant. But before doing this, I want to repeat kind of overlapping everything I've said before, talking about opportunities and strategies because they are connected. So we go back to the environment. If you mind the environment, this is where you will find your SWOT, the element of your SWOT. So I've said this many times, but often, but in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, there will be groups coming and saying, we're very confused, we're very desperate, we're very worried, we're very anxious, we haven't found any opportunities. And I would tell them, did you look at all the factors inside the environment? What do you mean? Did you look at the demographic? Oh no, we didn't. Did you look at the natural? Oh no, we didn't. Did you look at the intermediaries? Oh no, we didn't. Did you look at the suppliers? Oh no, we didn't. So just look at all of them, and within, if you really look at all of them, they will be some opportunities that will reveal themselves. What's very important is that if you look at the competitors, and cultural, political, demographic, these and probably technological, these will be most likely where you will be finding something because at the end of the day, you're also working on your draft to write your SWOT. SW is intern, so that's the client. O and T is in the market. When you talk about O and T, you make sure that you do not tell me the opportunities is we should be using TikTok. We should be using TikTok is an ID. TikTok in the past 2 years has increased by 55% according to Nielsen 2025 report. That's a fact. So make the difference between facts and ideas. 50% of the people will make the mistake of telling me ideas and calling these opportunities. It's very, very, very different. Facts are cool, opportunities, ideas are not. So this, I just said it in class, opportunities to sell more chicken, organic chicken, that's not an opportunity. The opportunity is that people like more organic food. What's the opportunity of CSUN? The opportunity of CSUN is it's the largest university in the San Fernando Valley, and the San Fernando Valley has millions of people. What's the opportunity for Martha Stewart? Martha Stewart opportunity is a lot of people want to learn about to cook, how to cook, and what to do, and how to. And Martha is their guru, and whatever Martha says is correct. So that's the opportunity. People are looking for a leader. Callaway Golf. What was the opportunity? Well, people that had a hard time playing with small golf clubs, small heads and small um, woods and so forth, and so they created massive heads and massive woods, and couldn't miss the ball anymore. But that was the opportunity. People had a hard time playing golf because the equipment was very small. Tom's shoes. Well, people want to help others, and you buy one shoe and they give one to someone else. People are nice in general, and they like this concept. What is the opportunity of eBay? Well, there's a lot of used products that people don't know what to do with it. And having a swap meet and a garage sale every weekend is not cool. So what you do is you just use the technology as the opportunity. You use the fact that people have a lot of stuff, and then you create the platform. So the opportunity is not to create the platform. The opportunity is to solve a problem. And the problem is people have a lot of used stuff. Here, which one of the following statement looks like a business opportunity for a brand of mask? You're making mask and you're looking for an opportunity. Since the air is polluted, we should be making pollution mask. Is that correct? No, because it's telling you what to do. So it's an idea. Our pollution masks are rated the best protection against air pollution by America organization. That's the strength. It's not an opportunity. The air is increasingly getting polluted according to the American society. That's just a fact, is the air is polluted. So that's an opportunity. We could partner with a popular brand of blah, 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 blah. Here you say what you want to do, is that's an idea, so it's incorrect. Diversification could be implemented overseas where nature is clean of phosphate. Well, this does not even make any sense. And it's telling you that you could be doing diversification, which isn't a strategy, so it's telling you what to do. It doesn't make any sense. How was Freytag created? Well, there's people that were watching the windows of their apartment and they saw a lot of trucks. One, two, 3,000, 10,000, 100,000 trucks driving every day. And they wondered, where do the top on the trucks end up? Are those top recycled? So that's an idea. We're going to make bags with the recycle top. Is an idea an opportunity? No. So what was the opportunity? The opportunity is people throw away top. So then you end up having the opportunity of buying something for dirt cheap, and then for you can make something at a very low profit. But do the customers care? Customer will really love to have a very unique product, because each one of these bags, because it's cut inside the top of a truck, the cover of a truck that is being thrown away, will be unique. Do people care for unique things? People care for unique things according to this research. That's a fact. You're not saying what you can do, you just talk about facts. Here, TGO is a company that created outdoor equipment that when people use it, it generates electricity. So opportunity, we're going to create equipment to go outdoor for people to go to the gym and create electricity. That's an idea. So it's not an opportunity. So what's the opportunity? People like to exercise outdoor a lot, plus 20% in the past 6 months, blah, 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 according to this source. That's an opportunity. It's a fact. People like to help the environment by creating renewable energy for their community. That's a fact. So that's what they're using, those facts. California closet is growing, 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 selling more and more, and suddenly it doesn't sell as much. What do? Well, you look for opportunities. Opportunities that because of COVID, people are working from home. It's because people are more and more interested to work from home. Home-based working is very important, mostly for women. And now people are slowly going back to their office, but they're looking for a home office. These are all opportunities for California Closet to suddenly start thinking about not making just closets, but organizing home offices. So opportunities are facts. Opportunities are not ideas. Then what's very important is to realize that you have to think about your customers, and you have to think about the segmentation, targeting, positioning. So this is a very important graph. I won't go into much detail because that's a whole class in itself. But the idea is this is the persona. So how do you do personas? You go to Google, look for personas, the explanation of this in a little bit, but it's also called segmentation, targeting, and positioning. STP, it's the same thing. Now, looking at strategies, what's important is strategies, they are the biggest thing, and tactics are the smallest thing. So it's important to see the different layers. Tactics is what you do every day, strategies is what you do every year. So the idea is that you develop a strategy and then you break down the strategy into small pieces in order to create the tactics. So posting a funny video on Tuesday night, that's not a strategy. Picking a model, a celebrity for your campaign, that's not a strategy. All of these are tactics. So what are strategies? Strategies, here you have the four basic strategies that you use 80% of the time. Market penetration is you sell the same product to the same market. Product development, you sell to the same market, a new product. Market development, you sell a different to a different group of customers, the same product as before, and diversification is a totally different product, has nothing to do. You were selling bananas and now you're selling tennis balls to a different area. So it's more than just a combination of new product and new market. It's a totally different market and a totally different product, but there's more strategies. But this one is the one to know because it's 70, 75, 80% of the strategies, but there's other ones. There's also the basic competitive strategies. Overall cost leadership is you try to be the cheapest. Focus is you identify a niche, if you want, of customers and you're trying to sell to them. Differentiation is what you try to do is to have a very different product. The way you use it, the result, the look is very different and people may like the fact that it's different. And then you have another one, which is the middle of the road. The middle of the road is a strategy. That means that you're going to do something very similar. You're not trying to be too different. Other strategies include operational excellence, is when you're trying to have the best implementation of serving the customers. Customer intimacy is you have the best relationship with the customers. You know them, they know you, you trust each other, you love each other, you follow each other, and you learn from each other. You have a very close relationship. Product leadership is you try to have the number one rated product, the most sold, the one loved by the experts, the highest rated, the one that people know, mention, what toothpaste you use, Colgate, what uh, oil you use, WD-40. So it's those brands everyone relates to a product category. That's product leadership. Now, market leaders, you try to sell the most products because you're trying to be the one most sold. If you're the most sold, people think you're the best one. Market challenger is you try to learn from the number one. Market follower is you try to learn from the first and the second, and you just sort of copy and hope that you're copying not too late. And so what you're copying is still current and relevant. And then market niche is like the focus that the one I had just before for the competitive strategies is you go for a very small market, a very niche group of customers, a very specific group of customers that is sort of too small for your the biggest brand, but for you it's great because you're not big yet, and therefore you can focus on them. Benchmarking, what does that mean? Benchmarking is looking at the strengths and weaknesses of your company and learning about the strengths and weaknesses of your competitors in order to learn what do they do well and what you could learn from them in order to do better. So first thing you do is you list um, whatever competitors you will want to focus on. Then you look at their strengths and weaknesses, then you look at their strategies, you identify the objectives, you look at who are their personas and customers, what kind of brand image do they have, the positioning, you look at their various prices, you see where do they sell, what store do they sell online, do they sell from their website, do they sell from Hub, Amazon, so forth. Then you look at how often do they create new product, innovation? Do they have a lot of products in their product line and which product are they seem to be investing more? So how many old, how many new product, what's the share of each one of these products? Then you look at how they communicate. Do they have one messages across different medium? Do they own the medium? Do they pay for the medium? Do they trade? Do they do a lot of PR, less PR, and so forth? Then trade leverages is what kind of power do they have in the channel of distribution with the intermediaries that they may have, maybe the transport company. What kind of relationship do they have? Do they have advantages? Do they have collaborations and so forth that gives them more result because they have a better partnership, not so much for what they're paying, but because they have a better collaboration. Then you also benchmark across another country. So you benchmarking yourself in America, but then you benchmark yourself with another country because you may be finding a competitor who's not your competitors, but you may be learning because a competitor is only in Denmark. But then you find that this competitor, what is they doing in Denmark, is something that you could be borrowing and doing in your own country and learn from them. And then you could also look in different industries and learn. Let's say you're in the food industry and you're using it, the good ideas of what they do in order to put it inside the beverage industry. So, what are the strategies? This is just a recap. It looks at the top level corporate level strategies, and I put the list of all what they are. And then I also talk about the four P's, and inside the four P's, I put the sub strategies. So this is something I won't discuss again, but I want you to see that it's neatly organized here, and you can always refer to it. The last slide is essentially exactly the same thing, but this is verbal. There's words to explain, and here is visual. It's just more within some kind of graph and figures so you can see. So the four P's are very much the sub-level strategies. And then when you do the sub-level strategies, you also have the tactics. So it's one, high-level strategies, two, lower-level strategies at the product level, and then the implementation, the action of these lower-level strategies are called the tactics. So again, the Valley Hive is very important, but it's very different, is to see if you understand what are business opportunities in a context which doesn't have to do with music, for you to just see what it would be in any industry. If you understand it in the Valley Hive, you can implement in anything. You can implement in the music industry, you can implement in the fast food industry, you can implement in the home decoration industry, in any industry, in the service industry, and so forth. Um, I look forward to see you next week. Have a great weekend. Bye bye.